What's good, everyone, and welcome back to the Water Boys channel. As today we will be covering the top 10 rookie wide receiver projections for fantasy football. Today I wanted to do it a little bit different. I've been jumping in just the top 10 in specific, positions, but receivers got me thinking because in fantasy football, there's a lot of deeper things that expands longer. You get 3 of them on your team depending on which league you're in. So I wanted to evaluate a little deeper into wide receivers. But without further ado, before I jump into it, please do subscribe to this channel. Please do like this video. And with that, let's jump into the video. So we're jumping into this video. It's going to be kind of different, but not really too different. I'm going to give you my top 10 to 1. But at that, I'm not going to give you mostly stat projections, but I'm going to give you most of an opportunity fit and who I think has the best potential this year to actually showcase their skill set as a rookie. And at number 10, I'm going to jump to Amari Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers. I think he has a beautiful opportunity, honestly, an amazing one, because he could slide in and be that number 2 wide receiver right away, the opposite side of Davante Adams. With that being said, that means he has a lot of chances to catch a lot of balls, a lot of chances to be on the field, and I think that's a great opportunity for him because there's not a solidified number 2. Yeah, you got how do you say his name? Marcus Valdes-Scantling or something like that. I don't know how to say it correctly. But as for that, he's just a deep threat. If he could become a possession receiver right away, that's great. And that's something Aaron Rodgers needs to develop with him because down the line and down the seasons, if Rodgers wants to stay and find another Rodgers down the future, maybe this won't be his last year. That'll be something to keep him in Green Bay as well. At number 9, this will surprise a lot of people. A lot of people might not remember him. I'm pretty sure USC fans do. It'll be Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, that's a lot to say, but I think this is an amazing potential, amazing opportunity for him. And I think he could be a sneaky fantasy football pick as well because who does Jared Goff have to throw to besides TJ Hawkinson in that Detroit offense? Nobody really. And this rookie could take the stage right away. I think he will surprise a lot of people this year. And he has an amazing chance to catch the ball early, make a lot of possessions on the field. And I think he'll be a lot to surprise in fantasy football this year. At number 8, we have Rondale Moore. Now, this one is kind of a tricky one for me, but you have to put on the list just because of the potential of the gadget plays he can be in. He can be on a lot of different trick plays on the offense. But as for wide receiver, I just don't think rookie year will be his year. I do think he will have flashes in and out. But as for fantasy football purposes aspects, I don't think he will show out like that. Now, he might have those random games, I think 1 or 2, where he cracks double digits like 15. But where he becomes an asset on the offense consistently every Sunday, day in and day out, I don't think that'll happen his rookie year. That's why it was tricky for me to put him on his list and why I have him a little lower, and a lot of people might have him higher. But I do think he will be great in the future. But as for a rookie in this offense, I don't know. I don't think it'll happen right away. If you want to stash him on your bench and hope for something in the future, that would be a good move to do in the later rounds or as a free agent because I think that's what his value will be. But to think he will be in your starting lineup within September or October, I don't think that's something that'll happen. At number 7, we have Terrace Marshall Jr., and I'm kind of upset my Chiefs didn't draft him, but it's all good. I think he does blend in well with the Panthers offense. Again, this will be something I don't think that meshes right away in the months of September, maybe October, because they do have Robbie Anderson, and then, I was going to say Curtis Samuel, but they don't, do they? Let me know down in the comments below who they have as their number 2. If they don't have another number 2 like that, Terrace Marshall could fit in perfectly. I think I'm drawing a blank. I know they got a number 2, and I'm just drawing like a brain fart right now. But if he could slide into a number 2 role, he might be a good asset earlier on then. But right now, I don't see that. But the big play potential he displayed in LSU, I think that can establish onto the football field. And I think that'll help Sam Darnold out a lot too. Give him more weapons. That'll help out a lot with the Panthers. At number 6, this is one of my favorite wide receivers that was coming out of the draft. I think really underrated. I think he's under the radar for everyone in fantasy football. And I think he will put on a show, and I think it could happen sooner rather than later. That is Dyami Brown. He has a great asset with the Washington football team. Of course, it depends on who's starting at quarterback. But then again, Fitzpatrick knows how to throw the ball. He knows how to get it to his receivers. And I think Tyler Heinicke can do the same thing as well. Now, he might have to fight for a number 3 spot. But at number 3, if he plays slot, it would be good because they got McLaurin. Then you got Curtis Samuel, but he's been battling injuries and things like that. And then after that, it's kind of open. I think that's where Dewame Brown could slide in. He's got speed to him. He's a bigger size receiver. Like, I think he fits in really well. We've seen what he's done this preseason. I think he's going to be hard to hide for the football team. I think they'll slide him in slowly, but if he keeps making plays, I think he's going to start in September as that slot guy, and then I think he can help out a lot of fantasy teams. I think you should draft him in the later rounds just hoping for potential, just so no one else gets him, and then when it comes October, he could hit your starting lineups early. I believe that. At number 5, a lot of people could have him as your number 1, and you still probably won't even know where I'm going here, but it's injuries that's kind of derailing him right now, so I can't put him that high. But Rashad Bateman, he has an amazing opportunity if he can stay healthy in Baltimore. He could be your number 1 guy right out the gate. Yes, they do have Sammy Watkins, but as for that, we know Sammy Watkins can't stay healthy. And another issue, too, is will Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens I don't want to say the Ravens run away from the run game, but can they implement more of the passing game? And that's something Lamar Jackson, if he wants to take that next step in the playoffs or in an MVP race, which he's already won, but to make him a better quarterback, he's got to be better at passing. And I think Rashad Bateman helps out a lot, but we got to see the Ravens do that. And right now we haven't, but that's one piece that'll help. Now, I know he is hurt right now, so I would say still stash him on your bench because I think that's amazing if you can get him on your bench. And then he's sneaky for someone in November and December. And definitely if your starting lineup doesn't pan out the way you want it to and you could slide him in, I think he can give you that potential at good fantasy points. I'm talking 10 plus every week if the Ravens do implement a good passing game. But we'll just have to see that. But I think he's someone you should stash on your bench, injured or not. At number 4, the next guy I have on the list, again, it'll surprise a lot of people because I have him lower, but usually with these type of players, we don't see it transition so quickly, and I'm going to have Devontae Smith. It's nothing against him or the player or the skill set he has. It's just that, tell me a player his caliber we've seen come in rookie year and dominate right away. The only one who's established it through a longevity of his career is Tyreek Hill. But at that, Tyreek Hill, they're around the same height, but he's a little more bulkier, and he's just an athletic freak. So is Devontae Smith. But he's got to establish himself in the system. I think he will have really good weeks. But as for the rookie year, I think he will have, I'll say 50-50, but I think he'll have more bad weeks than good weeks where he'll give you 5 fantasy, more than 10 fantasy points. He is someone you probably do want to stash on your bench because a lot of people are going to hope for that potential, and he gives you that other asset in the kick returning game and the punt return. If he returns the punt, that's 6 points for you right off the grip. So that's something that interests me a lot. But as for the receiving game, it's also interesting too because they can force it on him because Philly doesn't really have much besides Jalen Reagor and then Watkins on the other side. But they can try to get Smith in there just because he's a threat to take it to the house any time he touches the ball. So I see that, but I don't know. Rookie year, it's just something iffy for me. I'd be surprised if he balls out so quickly, but hey, you never know. So he could, but right now, I got him at number 4 on the list. At number 3 on the list, and who players have said they are excited to see this year, we're talking A.J. Browns, we're talking the Odell Beckhams, we're talking the Dez Bryants, Elijah Moore. Yes, he is battling injuries, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks to be your number 1 rookie wide receiver in fantasy football this year. Yes, like I said, battling injuries, but Jets don't really have a go-to number 1, and I think him and Zach Wilson, if Zach Wilson is the guy in New York for the next 10 years, who else would you want than Elijah Moore? He reminds me of, honestly, an A.J. Brown. He's physical. He's speedy. He catches a lot of balls. He's done it all the time in college. I think he can easily in September. I don't know how long he is out. That's why I don't want to say September, or as long as that injury lingers. But October, most definitely. Like, he could be someone you have as your number 3 or your flex in your fantasy football. Definitely put him on your bench. Like, I think he's someone every fantasy owner needs to keep their eyes out for. At number 2, I got the number 1 receiver drafted, Ja'Marr Chase. Yes, a lot of people are like, damn, why don't you have him number 1? There's a lot of things you got to put in behind for someone to be your number 1, and it's just not them being drafted number 1 in the real draft. What goes behind it, too, is what team they got drafted by, the position they're in, and things like that. And now he's with the Cincinnati Bengals, who got firepower. But my main concern with Cincinnati right now is if Joe Burrow will be 100%. Right now, I don't think he'll be 100% in September. It might ease into October, but that might also hurt Jamar Chase as well. Now, another thing that is catching my eye, I don't know if it'll be a huge issue or not, but he did it a lot last night, in which I'll go through all the preseason games Sunday. I'm going to do it differently this week, but he's dropping passes, which he didn't do in college, so I don't know if I should be concerned or not. Maybe it's different from college to NFL. Maybe, the nerves are getting him, the jitters, the butterflies, but that's something he got to knock off. You're the number one receiver coming out of the draft. You need to prove yourself. I don't think it'll be too much. I don't think it'll be too much of an issue, but as of right now, I have him as my number 2 receiver. I do think he has great talent and great potential. But right now, I got someone at number 1 that I feel will do better than him this year. And at number 1, I got the star of camp. He's been putting on shows in the first preseason game. It's Jalen Waddle. I think he's going to be something that Tua really needs in Miami. I think he's going to hit the scene quickly, ground running, all that. I think he's someone you have to draft. I think he will be in starting lineups no later than week 3, honestly. I think he will put on a show early. I think he gives you that other asset that Devonta Smith gives you as well, is in the return game. And I don't know, he's just so jittery. He's smooth. He catches every pass that comes his way. He's so fast. He is something Miami needs. And I think he's going to be something a lot of fantasy football owners will need too, to give him that playoff stretch down the line. And with that will close out my fantasy football top 10 rookie wide receivers. I will jump into the top 10 regular wide receivers, however you want to call it, just top 10 wide receivers in the league. I'll give you my top 10 wide receiver sleepers. Let me know if you want me to cover every position with rookie and sleepers down below in the comments. And as well, you already know what to do. Please do subscribe to this channel. I will give you almost daily videos on fantasy football, NFL news and rumors, to keep you up to date on everything. And oh yeah, I told you to already go in the comments, so you might as well. Let me know what you think about the list. Let me know if you think I'm crazy. I'll let you know if I think you're crazy. And with that, I also do have a page on Facebook. It will not let you miss out on any, and I mean any video. So you might as well go check that out if you want to subscribe, which I don't know why you aren't. Or if you haven't clicked that bell, which you might as well. It'll give you this nice little notification letting you know, oh, hey, Waterboys dropped a video. We do not want to miss out on that. And please, guys, give me that big thumbs up and like this video. And with that being said,